Hello everyone, welcome back to Dr. Coda's medical coding classes. So in this video, I'm doing conventions for ICD-10-CM. Here conventions, I'm doing it as two videos as a single one will be a lengthy one. So I'm doing it as two videos. So here is the part 1. This will be a very useful video for beginners. Uh, because in this video I am in detail telling about the textbook and ICD-10 book textbook and how to take codes and what are the basic conventions that you have to follow when you are taking an ICD code. So keep watching. First one, alphabetic index and tabular list. So when you open an ICD-10-CM textbook, you can see initially you can see the content page, then a set of conventions and general coding guidelines and chapter specific guidelines. Initial few pages are that guidelines to be followed. Okay. So after these sets of guidelines, then our book is divided into two sections. Okay. So the first one is alphabetic index and the second one is tabular list. Okay. So let us see the two indexes in details. So the first one, alphabetic index. What is alphabetic index? An alphabetical list of terms and their corresponding code. So the alphabetic index is basically a kind of dictionary. Okay, how you pick up codes from a dictionary, similar is the way how you pick up code from the alphabetic index. So if you get a diagnosis, what you have to do first is go to the ICD-10-CM book alphabetic index and search that particular diagnosis in the alphabetic index. Okay, for example, if your diagnosis is dehydration, then what you have to do is take the alphabetic index, go to the first index, okay, index to disease and injuries, which I'll tell later, and search for dehydration. So dehydration means the first letter is D, so A, B, C, D. You have to search in the D, D, E, D, E, H, in that way dehydration, and you will get a code E86.0 there. Okay. And the second part is tabular list, a structured list of codes divided into chapters based on body system or condition. So after alphabetic index, you have four alphabetic index. Okay, after all four alphabetic index, then the remaining portion of the ICD book is tabular list. Okay, so whenever you take a code from alphabetic index, you have to confirm that code in the tabular list. Okay, that is the above example. When you take the code for dehydration E86.0 from alphabetic index, you have to take that code in the tabular list also to confirm if you have any additional characters or E86.0 is complete or not. Okay, to check that you have to go to the tabular list. Okay, so the tabular list, I said that alphabetic index is divided in alphabetical order. It is arranged in alphabetical order. Okay, but in tabular list, it is arranged as a system wise or chapter wise. Okay, for example, digestive system is one series, then respiratory system is another chapter, another series, then nervous system is another chapter, like that. Okay, it is divided into sections. Okay, so the alphabetic index consists of, I said the alphabetic index consists of four indexes. Okay, the first one is index of disease and injuries. The second one is table of neoplasm. The third one is table of drugs and chemicals. Fourth one is index of external causes of injuries. I'll just tell you what all are the things included in these indexes, and I'll do another video to show you how to take code from the book. Okay. So the first one is index of disease and injuries. So in this index, this is the most commonly used index where the code for all diagnosis, all disease conditions are included in it. Okay, whatever be the injury, whatever be the disease condition, all codes, first you have to search in this index, index of disease and injuries. It is arranged in alphabetical order only. Okay, and the second one is a table of neoplasm. So you know what is neoplasm? Neoplasm means cancer related condition. No. So if you get any kinds of cancer related conditions, for example, if your question is a benign tumor of pancreas. So you know benign tumor is a neoplasm. No, and the site is pancreas. So what you have to do is first go to pancreas. Okay, P. There also the table of neoplasm, it is arranged in alphabetical order. So go to P, pancreas. Okay, then from pancreas you have to take benign. Okay, then the corresponding code will be the code for benign tumor of pancreas. Okay, that is how you have to take code from alphabetic index table of neoplasm. Then the third one is table of drugs and chemicals. So what is table of drugs and chemicals? When you hear table of drugs and chemicals, you will think like it is that table where you have to take code for the prescribed drug. No, it is wrong. Okay. The table of drugs and chemicals is actually for that cases where you have the condition is like you got any adverse effect or a poisoning condition or an overdosing condition or an underdosing condition due to some drugs or chemicals, we have to take code for that particular condition. Okay, for example, if the question is adrenaline overdose, okay, accidental overdose of adrenaline means you have to go to adrenaline, AD. It is arranged in alphabetical order, adrenaline. There you can see many conditions like adverse effect, underdosing, accidental poisoning, like that. Okay, in that you have to take accidental overdose or accidental poisoning of adrenaline. Then the corresponding code will be the code. Okay, and the last one is index of external causes of injuries. So in that index, it will be you have to take code for the causes of injuries. For example, if the condition in your chart is fracture due to a accident, transport accident means for fracture code you can get the code from index of disease and injuries, but for accident, transport accident, you will get the code from index of external causes of injuries. Okay, in that index, additionally, you will get codes for place of occurrence, activities, status of the patient, etc. Okay, then the next one is format and structure of ICD code. How is an ICD code looks like? How many characters are there? Okay, what is the first character? Like that. Okay, so there in the second line you can see an example T38.3x6a. Keep it as a reference. Okay. So the first point, minimum 3 characters and maximum 7 characters. So an ICD code have minimum 3 characters and maximum 7 characters. Okay. Here the first character of an ICD code will always be an alphabet. Okay. And the seventh character, it can be an alphabet or it can be number. Okay, and after first 3 characters there will be a point, and only after a point you have to write the fourth character. Okay, but if your code only consists of 3 characters means no need of the point. Okay, then next one, first 3 characters of a code is called a category. Okay, here the T38 is called a category. Okay, and the fourth character represents the etiology or cause of the disease condition. Okay, and the fifth character represents the location or the anatomical region. For example, head, shoulder, whatever be the anatomical location, it is indicated by the fifth character. And the sixth character represents laterality, that is left or right or bilateral. Okay, and the seventh character will be discussed separately in an incoming slide. So the next one is placeholder character. So the character which represent placeholder is X. Okay, it is for future expansion of codes. So how it is applied, I'll explain with an example. So you can see an example there itself, H40.10x1. It is the code for unspecified open angle glaucoma mild stage. Okay. So if you have textbook, please find the code for unspecified open angle glaucoma mild stage. So first where you have to check in the alphabetic index to disease and injuries. Then you can see a glaucoma unspecified open angle. The code will be H40.10. Then confirm it in the tabular list. Okay. Then in the tabular list you can see that H40.10 is incomplete code. Okay. There you can see in the side of H40.10 there will be a character 7 is indicated. So a seventh character needs to be applied. Okay. So from there itself you will get the seventh character as 1. Mild stage. Okay, seventh character for mild stage will be 1. So your code will be H40.10 and the seventh character is 1. Okay. Now the sixth character is missing there. No. So to replace the missing character, you can use X, the placeholder character. Okay. Whenever a code is incomplete, that is, you have a seventh character and your fourth, fifth, and sixth character is missing, means you can put X in that place. Okay, that is how the placeholder character is applied. Next one is seventh character. So I said a code, an ICD code have maximum 7 characters. So the applicable seventh character is required for all codes within category or as the notes in tabular list instruct. That is where we can find the seventh character. Where whenever a code requires a seventh character, the seventh character is picked from the after the first 3 characters of the code in the tabular list. Okay, so you know the first 3 characters called category. No, so after the category, that is the first 3 character of the code, after that in the tabular list you can find out what seventh character needs to be applied for that code. Okay, so the seventh character, it can be an alphabet or a number. Okay, so what are the most common seventh character? There are different seventh characters, but the most commonly used seventh character is just mentioned here. That is A, D, and S. Okay, here A stands for initial encounter. What is initial encounter? Initial encounter means patient comes to doctor for a particular diagnosis or disease condition for the first time. So that is initial encounter. Now what is subsequent encounter? Okay, subsequent encounter means when the patient comes to hospital with a particular diagnosis for the second or third or fourth time. It is not the initial visit for that particular complaint. Then we have to code it as subsequent encounter and the seventh character if required to be applied is D. Okay, so if the patient comes with a particular reason for the first time means the seventh character is A. If it is for the second or third or fourth or any visit other than the first visit means the seventh character is D. Now what is S? Sequelae. Sequelae means late effect or consequence. That is, for a particular condition, patient comes to hospital and patient is having a consequence of that particular condition, means that is the sequelae of the first condition. Okay, now if the patient comes for the treatment of that consequence means you have to apply the seventh character S. Okay, one example is the patient was having a nasal fracture. Okay, nasal fracture was the diagnosis, and this nasal fracture treatment is completed and the nasal fracture is cured. But as a result of the nasal fracture, the patient is currently having deviated nasal septum. Okay, so what is this deviated nasal septum? Deviated nasal septum is a consequence of nasal fracture or a sequelae of nasal fracture. Now, if the patient comes for the treatment of this deviated nasal septum means you have to apply the seventh character S. Okay. Now, abbreviations. Most commonly, two abbreviations can be seen, NEC and NOS. So, what is NEC? Not elsewhere classifiable. Okay, represents other specified. When a specific code is not available for a condition, alphabetic index or tabular list directs coder to NEC or other specified. That is, when the patient comes with a particular diagnosis. Patient have a particular diagnosis, but in the ICD textbook, we do not have a code for that particular diagnosis. Okay, maybe some other type of that diagnosis we have code, but this particular type there is no code. Okay, in that case you have to take code for NEC, not elsewhere classifiable. Okay, now NOS, not otherwise specified. Not otherwise specified is nothing but unspecified. That is, the doctor doesn't specify the condition. Okay, doctor, maybe the doctor didn't specify the type of that particular condition, means unspecified. Okay, that is NOS. So the difference between NEC and NOS means first one is doctor specifies the condition but there is no code for that condition. The second one is doctor didn't clearly specifies the condition. That is NOS. So now I am stopping here. If anyone is watching without subscribing, please do subscribe the channel. I will be doing the part 2 of this video very soon. Thank you.